banquet room at La Andana was full of people on Thursday.
Hi, and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee, in for Phil Gallagher. Residents and commuters in multiple parts of town will soon see something familiar: road paving work in areas that were done just 2 years ago. A number of roads that were paved in 2016 will be repaved starting in May of this year. The reason for the repaving so soon after the work was initially completed is that tests done on the asphalt showed the material to be subpar. DPW Director John Sanchez said they noticed issues with the asphalt content. There is a particular mix that must be used that wasn't present. It was segregated, and that is bad for longevity. Sanchez said that the town regularly tests road work being done by contractors in town. Along with the makeup of the asphalt and cement, they also scrutinize the temperature of the material when it is put down, as well as the thickness and compaction. Perhaps most importantly, due to the contract the town has with the contractors, this new round of paving will be free. Town Administrator John Petrin said residents who see the work being redone should not ask why the town is paying for work done only 2 years ago, because it is not. The roads impacted are Middlesex Turnpike, Burlington Mall Road, Wheeler Road, Bedford Street, Phillip Avenue, and Wilmington Road. Finally, Sanchez said this round of repaving won't take as long as it did 2 years ago because things like sidewalk ramps and catch basins do not need to be redone. On Monday, members of the Board of Selectmen said they wanted to remind Burlington residents and businesses that the even-odd day watering restriction is still in place. Members said that they have been asked by residents through email, phone calls, and in encounters around town, so they made it clear during the meeting that everything is as it was last year. As a reminder, the watering restriction says that automated watering will be banned between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. all year long. DPW Director John Sanchez said this is because studies have shown that during the time when the sun is out, most water evaporates before it can seep into the ground. The second point is that residents and businesses will only be able to water every other day. Watering will be on even odd days based on the property's address, meaning that if you have an even number for an address, you can water on even days of the month, and vice versa for odd addresses. Everyone can water on the 31st of the month. There are fines for breaking the water restrictions. On the first violation, a person will be issued a warning. On the second, a fine of $50 will be imposed, and a fine of $100 will be imposed for each subsequent violation. Parents who want to learn more about the use of vaping products among teenagers and their potential risks would have an opportunity next month. Burlington High School Principal Mark Sullivan posted on his blog that due to popular demand, School Resource Officer Keith Shepard will lead a repeat discussion on vaping on Thursday, May 3rd at 7 p.m. in the Burlington High School cafeteria. High schools and middle schools throughout the state have seen an increase in the use of vape pens during the school day. Evidence suggests that vaping is likely not as safe as some initial reports stated when it first became popular. According to a study by UC San Francisco, Researchers that was published on March 5th in the journal Pediatrics, adolescents who smoke e-cigarettes are exposed to significant levels of potentially cancer-causing chemicals also found in tobacco cigarettes, even when the e-cigarettes do not contain nicotine. During the presentation at BHS, parents will be provided with samples of vaping equipment for viewing so they know what to look for, a video presentation on why vaping is so appealing to kids, and an opportunity to raise questions related to school policies. The Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce held their annual Harold DuLong Scholarship Luncheon this week at Landana. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
The banquet room at Landana was full of people on Thursday to celebrate the life of a man who had a big impact on the town of Burlington and to help the next generation of students succeed. It was the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce's annual Harold DuLong Scholarship Luncheon. Harold was a partner with the law firm Reber and Bronstein from 1973 until his untimely death in a bicycle accident in Italy in 2004. During his time with the firm, he worked on many development projects, including the Oracle Building, that helped Burlington become the economic center it is today. He was also a Burlington High School graduate, and he refused to work on projects that he felt were bad for the town. During his life, he gave back to the community in many ways, and one of his special interests was education. For that reason, those who knew and loved him feel that a scholarship in his name is a perfect tribute.
The one thing about Harold, what people who knew him growing up, is he did not come from a lot of wealth. And for him to go to school, he had to work and rely on scholarships. So during his tenure in the firm, we used to always talk about what would be a fitting tribute. It's the old adage, what would you like on your epitaph, or your tombstone, so to speak. And he used to say that he was committed to education. He was so proud of the fact that he went to BU, who was an education major, and he just felt that the only one advances in the world is through education. So when he passed away, we as a firm thought about what could we do to push the memory of Harold forward, and we said we're going to make a commitment to making sure that the youth of Burlington have opportunities through education and through a scholarship.
A lot of people probably remember Harold as the, being a very big proponent of the town and all of the real estate and things that the firm did. But his big love was education. And he was always for the underdog. He was always wanting to help put people in the best opportunities that they could have. And so to have people together in his name in honor of him as a tribute for education for kids is perfect.
Those behind the scholarship say they are dedicated to helping the youth of today succeed through quality education and the life skills that come with learning.
We're trying to encourage people to push themselves. As my partner Dennis McKenna said, one thing about Harold was to take a different view of different facts and circumstances, and those who he surrounded himself tended to think that way. And Harold and I would probably agree that if you learn how to think, you can solve any problem. And so we want the money to be used for students in Burlington to pursue higher education that teaches them how to think, because as Dr. Mayberry said, once you learn how to think, you can do almost anything. So that's our mission.
Finally, the luncheon is also an opportunity for family, friends, and associates of Harold to come together and remember the man they say did so much for the community.
Well, I think you see that most of our events, they're heartfelt. This is a heartfelt event. It isn't one that people don't, people look forward to this event. When they come in here, they see friends that maybe they haven't seen in a while, and we talk about the partnerships in the business community turn into friendships, and it really leads to charitable giving and great relationships that people love getting together.
It's just amazing. This is, Harold's been 14 years that he's passed, and so this event is just a wonderful tribute to him over the years. And as I said in my very brief remarks, because I could go on and on, his spirit is with us because of so many people he worked with, so many people he participated on boards and committees, and he was a good guy, and he helped a lot of people. He was like the Pied Piper of Burlington, so everybody would follow him. They'd try to he'd get on a particular mission. If Harold was on it, everybody would want to do it as well. So to see everybody here just brings him back to life. And so he's never really gone. And you know, when you talk about people and you reminisce and you tell stories, they're still with you.
At the Harold DuLong's Luncheon at La Donna, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Thank you, Rich. Local authorities, including members of the Burlington Police Department, are trying to ensure that houses of worship are as prepared as they can be in an emergency. Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan, in partnership with the Middlesex Community College Program on Homeland Security, hosted a House of Worship safety training this week for approximately 130 faith leaders, volunteers, and staff members of religious institutions representing 67 faith communities on ways they can protect their places of worship. Recognizing that acts of violence and targeted threats aimed at religious institutions and places of worship are designed to instill fear in congregants, District Attorney Ryan stressed the importance of preparedness for staff and volunteers to take precautions to avert tragedy. The conference provided attendees with information on preparing themselves for an active threat or emergency event. These tips included building relationships with law enforcement, identify a safe space off-site, having trauma kits on hand, and establishing a communication plan to notify all parties in an emergency. The speakers also discussed the warning signs of violent behavior, active shooter, and improvised explosive devices threats, and other emergency operations planning. Featured speakers included Major Scott Range of the Massachusetts State Police Fusion Center, Lieutenant Glenn Mills and Sergeant Timothy McDonough of the Burlington Police Department, and Lowell Fire Department Chief Jeffrey Winward. Tony Funches, former lead singer of the Platters, made his second appearance at the Burlington Library, performing many classic songs from the Platters and more. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty sat down once again with Tony at the end of the evening.
Backed by popular demand, Tony Funches, former lead singer of the Platters, returned to the Burlington Library last week, performing all the timeless tunes of yesteryear.
Come on, baby. You know I love you. Yeah, I ain't helping myself. I ain't loving you and nobody else. Thank you, baby. I love you too.
Being with the Platters was just amazing because I learned everything. Everything that I know, I learned it being with the Platters. And, you know, just thinking about them, when I think about the Platters and all that they did for me, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for the Platters. You know, if it wasn't for the Platters, I'd just be another singer, you know. And so it really defined me, and now it identifies me because people identify me as being with part of the Platters group.
So what brought Tony back to Burlington?
I love entertaining people, and I will go anywhere within reason to do that. I love people, and I understand people. I don't charge a lot of money, so people know they can afford me, and that's what I try to make sure, that they don't have to think about money.
And Tony could describe the night's crowd in one word.
Extraordinary. I mean, they made me want to burst into tears over and over and over again, because that kind of love you don't just find sitting on the shelf. It's something that, when it finds you, you know that it's really special, and so it touches me.
Finally, where can Tony's fans expect to see his next performance?
That's a good question. I don't do any promotion myself. I work for people, and everybody's all over the place, so I have to look at my book one date at a time. I don't even know where I'm playing tomorrow right now. I know when I get home tonight, otherwise I'd be overwhelmed. I'm doing as many as 4 shows a day. I mean, I try to only do one, and most days it is one. As long as I have time to get there, I go and do it because I love the people, and I know that it means a lot to them.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNews Weekly.
It's up to you. New York. New York. New York. New York City. Yeah, baby.
Thank you, Chris. In other musical performance news, the Burlington 4th of July Committee held a fundraiser last week featuring a local Elvis impersonator at the American Legion Hall to help out with their funds for this year's parade. BNews reporter Robert Paris was there and has this look.
He was considered the most significant culture icons of the 20th century and was simply known as the King. Last week, the Burlington 4th of July Committee held a fundraiser at the American Legion Hall featuring a very special guest, Elvis.
4th of July Committee holding our annual fundraiser. This year we're fortunate enough to have Burlington's own Stan Anderson, the Stan Jr. show. Stan's been doing this for, oh goodness, many years. He's I don't know, 40 years, maybe more. He's very entertaining. I think the people here will really enjoy it.
The committee had a lot of preparations before the event could kick off.
You know, just some creative thinking amongst the committee. You know, we're a very small committee. We only got 6 or 7 of us that, you know, show up on a regular basis. You know, someone come up with the idea of maybe Stan would come back because he was here in November doing a class reunion last year. Somebody mentioned what a great show he put on, so we asked Gary Caldwell to reach out to Stan, see if he's willing to come back and help out the 4th of July Committee. And being a Burlington guy, he was happy to help.
Stan Anderson, aka Stan Jr., is an American performer and entertainer who is best known for his career as an Elvis impersonator.
Well, I know Gary, you know, and he approached me to, you know, if I would be interested in putting on a show here at the American Legion and, you know, try to raise money for the American Legion. It was a great idea, you know, so I was all for it, you know.
The 4th of July Committee is already in the process of reaching out to the business community. However, donations are lower this year.
This being our first event of the year, we're really going to get into the meat and potatoes of the fundraising, reaching out to our corporate neighbors, you know, throughout the month of May and June and so forth. You know, we've had some very good corporate neighbors here in Burlington. We're very fortunate, but we could always use a few more. But you know what? These are the same people that, you know, not only step up and help us here with the 4th of July parade, but the people helping people programs, the recreation events we have on the common. It's you know, oftentimes it's these same corporate citizens that we have here in Burlington. So we'd like to get a few additional corporate citizens and bring them into the fold.
The committee is always looking for new volunteers to help out with the parades and fundraisers.
Well, they can visit our website, www.burlingtonjuly4th.com, or we're also on Facebook. They can reach out to me through the Selectman's office or any one of our members. If they want to volunteer, we're always looking for volunteers. We're currently seeking nominations for Citizen of the Year. We've had 3 or 4 already, so we're already ahead of the game. We don't usually get that many. So we're getting a little bit better at this. This is our 5th year running the parade, so we've, you know, always learning from our past. And each year it gets a little bit better, a little bit easier for us.
The committee is always grateful for the community to come together and help out.
They're contributing to a great cause. As you know, on the 4th of July, you guys cover the 4th of July parade for us. And since we've, the addition of the fireworks for the last couple of years, I mean, we've got thousands of people along the parade route and thousands more come out to the common. And it costs a lot of money to do that. So I appreciate the support we have here tonight. And anyone home listening wants to help out, you know, we would welcome that as well.
Finally, the performer says he is always happy to see the audience enjoy his show.
As far as taking away from my show, an enjoyable evening, you know, something that they can, you know, wake up tomorrow and say, wow, we had a great time last night. And, you know, that's my, you know, my job is done, you know, because that's what I enjoy doing. I like bringing a smile and enjoyment to the audience.
From the American Legion Hall, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you very, very much. Burlington High School students that are members of a group dedicated to empowering girls around the world were at the Massachusetts State House this week to talk about issues important to them. On April 23rd, State Senator Cindy Friedman and State Representative Ken Gordon welcomed a group of Burlington Girl Up leaders to the Massachusetts State House. The young leaders had the opportunity to speak directly with their legislators about some of the obstacles they face as young women in high school and asked important questions about how they can make an impact on state government. Girl Up is a global organization that envisions a world where every girl can live up to her utmost potential. An overarching theme of the discussion was the need to increase the number of young women enrolled in STEM courses, which are traditionally male-dominated, the release states. Senator Friedman explained that she was often the only woman at the table when she worked as a manager of hardware and software groups in the high-tech industry for nearly 20 years. Both Senator Friedman and Representative Gordon expressed their interest in working with the students and the Burlington community to empower young women to pursue STEM courses and establish a more integrated pathway into male-dominated careers like engineering and computer science. The Girl Up leaders also discussed clean energy initiatives like the proposed plastic bag ban in the town of Burlington, as well as the Senate Clean Energy Omnibus Bill, an act to promote a clean energy future, which both Senator Friedman and Representative Gordon support. After the discussion, the Burlington students went on a tour of the State House and had the opportunity to learn about the building's history and the legislative process. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown in our weather center for a forecast we've all been waiting for, the arrival of some pleasant spring weather. We'll also check out the community calendar with Jolie Atwood, who is filling in for Maddie Shipka this week, to see what's happening around Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days, and I am pleased to say we finally have some really nice spring weather. That's something we have not seen too much of this spring, and we're really going to be seeing that in the next 7 days coming up. And actually, interesting to note, by the time we get to the end of this 7-day period, we may actually see some summer-like warmth, but that's something to definitely look forward to. But as we're starting out our period here on Friday, look at this. We're going to start to see those temperatures a little bit higher than average for this time of the year. We're going to see temperatures in the mid-60s. Unfortunately, when looking ahead, that looks like that's going to come with a little bit of maybe some showery weather in the afternoon. But still, if you're out and about, 65 is going to feel great after the type of weather we've seen for the past really 6 or 7 weeks. And again, if you have to be out on the town at night, look at this. Our average low temperatures are only going to be down near 50. So going to be fairly pleasant if you have to be out in the city or have to be doing anything at all at night. And of course, look at this as we get to the end of the period. Can you believe it? We're going to be going into May. Now, as we go into May, we're starting to see our average highs that should be starting to get up near the 70s. And definitely that is going to be the name of the game when we get to next week. And of course, as you notice right here with the sunrise and sunsets are getting longer and longer. Our days are getting longer and longer as we move towards the summertime. Now, as we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with our weather for the next 7 days. Now, this is a map that we haven't really seen much of since almost last fall. This is actually a pretty quiet weather map for a change. Now, as we start out a period Friday and Saturday, we're going to see this pesky high pressure center that's going to be centered over maritime Canada. And that's going to keep some kind of cooler northeasterly and easterly winds coming down into our area and into the Burlington area as we head on to the second half of Saturday and into Sunday and Monday. Of course, though, that's going to mean the harbinger of some really nice weather, though, coming in after it. We're going to see a new high-pressure center here going to set up to the southeast of New England, and this is going to bring some really warm temperatures up into our area when we start to get into the Tuesday time frame. As you look on this map, this does actually look pretty much like a summertime weather map. We're going to see this warm front coming through as we get into Monday, and that's going to bring the chance of some showers as we get into the latter half of Monday, first half of Tuesday. And then we're going to see this beautiful sunshine with maybe some mixed clouds for the next 3 days after that, with temperatures in the 70s and most likely the 80s as well. Now, as we get to the end of the period, we are going to see a cold front coming through, and that might bring with it the chance of a couple of strong thunderstorms when we get to the end of our 7-day, but that definitely means that spring is here and summer is not too far behind. As we go ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about that weather that we are expecting. Again, on Friday and Saturday, we're going to see maybe a little bit in the way of some showery weather as we get into the first start of the weekend. But look at this, temperatures on Friday about in the mid-60s. Now on Saturday, we may actually have to bump these temperatures up a little bit. Looks like we're going to get the rain out of here a little bit quicker, and temperatures might get into the low 70s on Saturday. So a beautiful day if you're out and about in Burlington area. Now Sunday, we're going to see a little bit of a backdoor cool front try to come back down at us, and that's going to drop our temperatures back down into the mid-50s. And look at this, we are going to have one night going into Monday morning where we may actually see some frosty weather again, but after that, look at what happens with these temperatures. By the time we get to Thursday, look at the high temperatures we have up in the mid-80s, and there's some indications that we may actually see some temperatures on Thursday in the upper 80s to maybe near 90. So some real summertime warmth coming towards the end of the period. So folks, get out there, enjoy this great spring weather coming, and have a great week.
Hi, I'm Jolie Atwood, and this is your community calendar. Come learn about the history of Burlington through a website. On Thursday, May 3rd, the Burlington Historical Society will be having the creator of the Burlington Retro website, Robert Fahey, at the Grandview Farm. There will also be a short presentation about his website and the history of Burlington. Don't forget to bring your pictures. Doors open at 6:30 and the presentation begins at 7. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. She shoots, she scores! On Saturday, May 5th from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having USA Women's Ice Hockey Team gold medalist and Burlington native Callie Flanagan for a meet and greet. Hear about their thrilling experience leading up to their penalty shootout win over Canada in the final game. There will also be a short presentation and autograph signing. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. In a galaxy far, far away, on Saturday, May 5th at 2 p.m., the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having an event called Revenge of the Fifth. Come and dress as your favorite Star Wars character and enjoy a day on the town common filled with Star Wars-related activities. Everyone is welcome. Pre-registration is required. For registration, visit burlingtonrecreation.org or call 781-270-1695. This was Jolie Atwood, and that was your community calendar.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Jolie. The spring sports season is now in full swing. We go now to BNews sports reporter Matt DiMarzio for the latest Red Devils action in this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here for your weekly sports report. Thursday afternoon in Wilmington, the Burlington High girls lacrosse team earned quite a victory. The Red Devils and first-year coach Kat Trahan trailed 10-8 late in the game before scoring the final 3 goals on the way to an 11-10 win. It was the second win in a row for the Red Devils. Speaking of big wins, the softball team hosted Wilmington on Monday and earned an 8-5 win over the Wildcats, behind the pitching of Erica Carney and some clutch hitting throughout the lineup. The win improved the Devils to 4-1 on the year. Led by Maddie Metzdorf, the girls' tennis team is undefeated in Middlesex League Freedom Division play and is looking good to potentially win a league championship. Metzdorf has been cruising through the league competition at #1 singles for Burlington. On the boys' side of things, the lacrosse team scored a dramatic 13-12 overtime victory at Masconomet Regional High last Wednesday afternoon. Freshman Paul Deramo scored the game winner in overtime after a key save from fellow freshman Colin Brown after Masco won the overtime faceoff. Burlington enters their official halfway point of the season with a record of 5-4. And finally, the Burlington High Athletic Hall of Fame Committee recently announced its 2018 Hall of Fame inductees. The group includes Jason Clifford, class of 1992, Adam Jenkins, class of 2001, Lisa Marchesi, Irgot, class of 1989, Glenn McGowan, class of 1981, Gregory Nelson, class of 2007, Jennifer Pondelli Scarpelli, class of 1999, Bradley Schuler, class of 1971, Coach Edward Murray, the 2006 football team, and benefactors, Anthony DeSimone and Anthony Cedrone. The Hall of Fame banquet will be held on Thursday, October 4th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Cafe Escadrille in Burlington. Tickets are $50 and may be purchased at the BHS Athletic Office at Burlington High or by calling 781-273-7077. That's 781-273-7077 or 781-270-1867. And that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Matt DiMarzio, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Matt. One place where there's always a lot happening is the Senior Center. We go now to Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald for the latest senior news.
Hello. May is almost here, and although we haven't packed our schedule while we remain upstairs, we certainly have quite a few activities worth coming to the Senior Center for. We still have a couple days left in April, and on Monday, April 30th, we have a presentation at 1 p.m. on Prescription Advantage. Prescription Advantage is a Massachusetts prescription insurance program to help fill the donut hole and other gaps you may discover. Although the program is based on income, it is a sliding scale fee program that most will qualify for. Our 50-plus job seekers networking group continues with 2 more great topics for May. On Tuesday, May 8th, we will have an encore career panel. The panel will consist of people who have completely changed the course of their careers after a certain age. On the panel will be Audrey Allen, our very own outreach worker, who graduated college at age 60. Pat Chadwick of Encore Boston, Gen to Gen, who was formerly a senior executive in retail. Claire Murray, Regional Manager for Operation Able, was an entrepreneur and author, and Alyssa Spence, a realtor for over 25 years, will also join the panel. Job Seekers meets Tuesday, May 9th from 9 to 11 a.m. The group will also meet on Tuesday, May 22nd with the subject Intention Board, Creating Our Visions at 9 a.m. On Wednesday, May 9th, we will show a Bollywood movie at 1 p.m. The movie is to be announced and refreshments will be served. On Friday, May 11th, we will not have Grandview, so we will be canceling exercise. You are, of course, welcome to come in and use the treadmills or exercise bikes. Carol Kilduff of Visiting Angels will be here on Monday, May 14th at noon to talk about gluten awareness. She will bring a delicious, nutritious, gluten-free lunch with her. Please sign up for this so we know how much food she will need. You can call or sign up at the Senior Center. On Wednesday, May 16th at 1 p.m., actress Judith Kalora will present her one-woman show, A Revolution of Her Own. Deborah Sampson. Deborah Sampson became a hero of the American Revolution when she disguised herself as a man and joined the Patriot Forces. She was the only woman to earn a full military pension for participation in the Revolutionary Army. We are unable to film this presentation. Later in May, we will have a workshop on thinking beyond the money. What do you want your retirement to look like? Prepare and set realistic goals associated with transitioning into retirement. This workshop offers a practical model for planning your future and a framework that helps to identify and prioritize the most significant non-financial aspects of retirement. A very light lunch will be served. Our senior prom took place in April and it went off without a hitch. Everyone had a wonderful time and our queen was Marguerite McCabe along with her king, Joshua McDaniels. I would like to thank the following people and businesses for their generosity donating funding or product. First and foremost and always to a Whole Bunch Flower Market, Leahy Hospital and Medical Center, Reamer and Braunstein, Burlington Rotary, the Burlington Rotary Interact Club, Edward V. Sullivan Funeral Home, Hilton Garden Inn, AFC Urgent Care, Representative Ken Gordon, Senator Cindy Friedman, Brogan Photography. Gift cards for the superlatives were provided by Burlington Car Wash, CVS, Dunkin' Donuts, Hilton Garden Inn, Lacashas, Pizza Works, Schoolhouse Ice Cream, Shaw's, and True North. And of course, thank you to my trusty prom committee, Carolyn Brogan of Brogan Photography, Cheryl Forbes of Stonebridge, Ray Graber, Graber Associates, Jennifer St. Ange, Home Transition Resources, Diane Robinson, Bayberry Assisted Living, Sonia Rollins, and Brenda Cahoon, both of Exit Realty. That's all for now. I'm Marge McDonald, and I hope to see you at the Senior Center.
Thank you, Marge. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week, we have a photo showing a Burlington student taking on the responsibility of caring for a school pet during vacation. It was sent in by Jennifer Goldsmith, and it is of her daughter Mackenzie enjoying April vacation with the Burlington School Science Center guinea pig named Guacamole. Jen said she and her daughter had a lot of fun taking care of this little guy during the week off from school. Thanks for the photo, Jen. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Well, that's it for this week's edition of BNEWS Weekly. We will leave you with on a special note, music video, and I will see you around town. Good night.
She gets so hot, you lose your quiet feet with quiet proof.
All playing with my baby is what I'll do. Y'all help me, come on.
I'm ready for a walk. You guys are beautiful. Fine and smooth. I tell you, nobody wanted to touch me this much since I was in jail. But that's who, no, because everybody wanted to touch me in jail, man. Under the